This is Kim Speedy from 10 Sigma. Welcome to episode 115 of Transition Tuesday. Today I'm going to be talking about gathering transition data. Right now I'm going to switch over to a short slide presentation to share this information. Collecting transition data. Transition Tuesday, episode 115. In this video, I will be discussing the W's of collecting transition data, what it is and used for, why it is collected, when it should be collected, and who collects it. This is the third video in building a successful transition program. Before getting into discussing collecting data, let's summarize the first two videos. In episode 111, we discussed starting the school year by making transition a priority, knowing your role as a transition teacher, making sure you schedule time for transition, and involving parents and the whole IEP team in the transition process. In episode 113, we discussed that students need to learn their role and responsibilities in their transition process. They need to learn about the IEP and the IEP meeting, and they need to learn to advocate for themselves. The what of transition data is any information collected about the student and by the student to help them be as prepared as possible for their adult life. It can be collected through a variety of ways, including formal assessments, academic or functional, or informal assessments, academic or functional. Let's look at a recap of episode 69 on age-appropriate transition assessments. Let's talk a little bit about the types and purposes of age-appropriate transition assessments. There are two types of assessments, formal and informal. Formal assessments are usually standardized with strict guidelines for administering, scoring, and interpreting, and have been tested for reliability and validity. Informal assessments gather existing information on students and compile data for decision-making. They may consist of interviews, questionnaires, direct observation, surveys, and curriculum-based measures. Both types of assessments provide relevant student information in relation to employment, post-secondary education and training, home living, community participation, and recreation and leisure areas for transition planning. Both can be the basis for the student's measurable post-secondary goals, as well as the basis for measurable annual IEP goals. Keeping in mind that transition assessments need to pertain to the student's needs, strengths, interests, and preferences, information could be collected on the student's perceptual skills, their ability to judge where, how, and if things fit together. Interpersonal skills, such as the student's attitude, cooperation, teamwork, and communication skills. Work aptitudes, the ability to remember and follow instructions and procedures, ability to plan, organize, and improve with practice. Work behaviors, the ability to concentrate, stay on task, and remain motivated. And interests, including personal goals, hobbies, leisure time activities, and academics. Other information that could be collected on the student could include cognitive skills, reading and math skills, concept formation, thinking style, and problem-solving abilities. Self-awareness and self-advocacy skills, understanding their strengths and needs, being assertive, and making decisions. Functional life skills, such as self-care and independent living. Learning styles, which is the student's preferred way of absorbing, processing, and retaining information. Assistive technology, to determine the student's need for help with mobility, communication, writing, reading, self-management, etc. And transferable skills, such as leadership, organizational, and interpersonal. Other specific ways that transition data can be collected, and this falls under the category of informal assessments, are student portfolios. More information on this is in Transition Tuesday, episode 21. Also, conversations with the student and other members of the IEP team are a great informal assessment. Questionnaires and inventories, performance assessments. For more detailed information on these, refer to Transition Tuesday, episode 46. Activities and schoolwork, interviews, rubrics. Transition Tuesday, episode 74 gives a detailed look on how to use rubrics in special education. Observation, work experience, volunteering. This topic was also covered in episode 88 of Transition Tuesday. Also, task completion done by the student and research done by the student are great ways to collect transition data. There are two parts to why we collect transition data on students. It's to determine not only their strengths and needs, but their interests, wants, preferences, and options for education and training, employment, and independent living where appropriate. It's important to note here that assessments completed by the student are just as important as assessments that are completed about the student in terms of looking at their functional performance in the transition skills areas. And the last two questions I want to talk about with regard to collecting transition data are when and who. It is extremely important that collecting transition data is ongoing, not just once a year before the IEP meeting. And in general, it is the transition teacher's responsibility to collect transition data and report progress. However, the student should be held responsible to report their progress to the IEP team between IEP meetings, especially to the transition teacher and parents. For today's bonus, I'll be sending you information and resources on collecting transition data. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you use this information to help gather transition data for your students. Be sure to check your email for the bonus we just sent over. If this is the first time you've ever seen an episode of Transition Tuesday, click the link below to receive the bonus. Be sure to like and share the video and leave a comment or suggestion for a future episode of Transition Tuesday. Have a great week. See you next Tuesday.